She looks very grumpy now. Hello and welcome to the Chatter Cave podcast, where we break down and review movies, TV shows, occasionally do video games, and every now and again have a random ass conversation. I'm your host, drinking Thomas Hughes. I'm joined by the lovely Hayden, aka Lickler, who possibly may kill me before this recording's over. And we're also joined by the lovely Geeky Bear, aka Alex.
Hello.
Something he pestered me about doing last year, and I never did it.
Yep.
But
nothing new.
Year later we get there. We get there a year later. Plus, yes, Christmas. Because, we could have done it at any point in the year, but, this is a Christmas
It
show.
fits more, doesn't it?
It feels better to do it now. Because it's Christmas time. Obviously, today we're wrapping up released Marvel live-action shows on Disney Plus with, obviously, Hawkeye, which obviously came out back end of 2021. Obviously, we covered WandaVision, Falcon and Winter Soldier, and Loki in the same year. Obviously, Alex, you're the only consistency on that front. Because you did all three of those.
No?
Yep, you did all three of those. You did the first one with me, which was WandaVision. You did Falcon and Winter Soldier with both of us. And then we did Loki as a proper group. So you're the consistent one here. Apart from the 2022 slate, you weren't a part of those ones. You got recast by that point. With John Cena. He was sitting right next to you. That little area, there's nothing. You see it?
Yeah.
Exactly. But yeah, obviously Hawkeye was the more festive Marvel show, as it is set during the Christmas, obviously, period. Obviously, the few days build up to Christmas, with Hawkeye basically being the mentor figure for the new Hawkeye, which is obviously Kate Bishop. And she's trying to go through, these early stages of becoming this new hero, while also dealing with her family problems. And he's also dealing with family problems because he's trying to get home for Christmas. The classic Christmas plot. I gotta get home for Christmas! But there's so many obstacles in the way.
Oh no.
And in this case, the obstacles are bros.
A Rolex.
A Rolex, yep. Obviously a big man.
And a ninja.
There's a lot of obstacles for this
And
guy.
his best friend's sister at one point.
Yeah. There's a lot of obstacles stopping him. There's the classic Marvel obstacles.
Obviously.
Stopping good old Clint from getting home.
Mm-hmm.
See, obviously, this is the one, out of all the ones that were announced early on, this is the one that I was straight up, I need to see. Because I'm a big Hawkeye fan. I still remember when the first Avengers came out. I remember being in school. I can't remember what class. I think it was science at the time. It shows what old this was. I was in school at the time it came out. And I remember everyone being like, "Oh, it's my favourite character in this movie." And there's me by myself going, "I like Hawkeye." And I remember one person was going, "Who's there?" And I was like, "Really?"
The one with the bow.
I remember someone literally saying that it's the archer, the guy with the fucking bow and arrow. But yeah, so that shows how much I've loved this character since he's been introduced. Obviously, he was introduced within 4 in that little bit role.
Yes.
But obviously, I think I probably grew up a bit more with Earth's Mightiest Heroes, where he was sort of like a villainous character, but not a villain. Like but they labeled him as villain, but he was not a villain.
It was more of S.H.I.E.L.D. going after him, but from his perspective, we know he wasn't bad.
He was basically labelled a villain, even though he was not done anything at all. They were just trying to get him arrested. But yeah, so that's where I know him heavily from. And the next Avengers movie.
Correct. Yes.
So yeah, obviously there's a few film animated projects here and there I've watched and grown to love Hawkeye through, and obviously then they introduced him in 4. And then got him a bit of a bigger role in Avengers, and slowly as they've gone along, they've given him a bit more to do. Because obviously, yourself, obviously 4 he didn't really do much. No. Avengers, he was basically used those as a little villain.
Plot device until the end.
Obviously, Age of Ultron's the one where they actually brought him out more. Obviously, his relationship with Wanda and obviously Pietro. Then obviously, he took a step back until Civil War. Again, he didn't come until the end. Obviously, Infinity War, not involved at all. No. Endgame, utilised as the Ronin, a big part of the plot. And obviously, it's been slowly been used a bit more as the films have gone along. And then I've gone, okay, we'll give him his own story here. A passing of the torch story, even though we haven't used him heavily, we're going to pass the torch on to someone else that we're probably, hopefully, going to use a bit more within the next Avengers like the Young Avengers projects.
Yes.
I think she's going to be quite good, especially with like all the chemistry she's had with
It's Kate Bishop.
Yes.
I say because obviously, yes, it's his show, but it's also her show.
Definitely.
It's very. It's a bit like obviously all the ones we've seen so far, apart from Loki. It's split between the two characters. Obviously, Loki technically it's just Loki.
It's Loki and Loki.
So it's not really split between two. Whereas obviously Falcon and Soldier, one division was split between
one division.
Exactly. So realistically, the 2021 slate of Marvel was more of two separate characters.
Yes.
Heavily used, whereas the 2022 slate of Marvel has been more solo-driven projects, solo-driven, diverse projects. I'd like to say, for the fact that obviously you've had female-driven ones.
Yes.
Obviously, you've had the Egyptian-driven ones, like the Arabic, like the Middle East.
Yeah.
Like, stuff like that. So you've had a lot more push for like the religious angles and whatnot.
Yes.
Whereas this doesn't bother pushing anything like that. It doesn't need to be. It just wants to be a Christmas special, basically. Yeah. Which, as seen with the Guardians special this year, Marvel seems to do very good with these Christmas specials.
Yeah.
But unlike the Guardians project, this actually has a villain.
And they aren't stealing Kevin Bacon.
Yeah, and they aren't trying to steal Kevin Bacon.
Yep.
And it's one of your favourite villains.
Yes, they do utilise one of my favourite villains from the Netflix universe, which is, of course, Kingpin. Obviously, he's left for the last act, obviously. Because you got to build up the theories. Because obviously, 2021 Marvel, in terms of TV shows, was heavy in theories.
Yeah, because it was like...
particularly was the most heaviest. I mean, we discussed that. We discussed that heavily, I think, if I remember correctly, in the podcast. About how that was such a big theorized show, this might happen.
Yeah.
And this is the same. They left it to your mind. Just like, okay, this could be Kingpin they're talking about here, but is it going to be?
And then you've also got the depending on which Kingpin is it going to be?
Is it going to be Netflix Kingpin or not?
Of course, reveal of it is a Netflix one.
Yeah, obviously Spider-Man No Way Home came out before this.
Yes.
The finale, at least. I mean, so obviously at that point.
We know that after Charlie Cox's.
Yes, and obviously we did get. Were these the release Fridays? Because obviously Marvel's constantly kept changing the release dates for these shows. Yeah. 1 minute they're Fridays, next minute they're Wednesdays. Was Hawkeye the Wednesday one? Or was it the Friday one?
I can't remember. All I remember is telling me.
Was it the Friday? Because I remember watching Spider-Man. I remember watching Spider-Man on the Thursday and letting you know.
Yes.
Don't watch it just in case. There's a big. Because obviously everyone theorising the ending of Spider-Man No Way Home where he's swinging down over the ice rink. Everyone was like, oh, could he be in the finale? And I remember messaging you like, don't watch this.
Just in case.
I'm going to watch it. Make sure there's nothing. And I'll message you to say it's clear. And obviously it is clear because it's not in that. It was, again, another theory from fans overhyping a possibility or something.
The only thing is...
which is what Marvel keeps doing recently, is overhyping the idea of this could happen. And then when it doesn't happen, they get pissed off.
Yeah. It's the idea of creating your own fantasy and getting pissed off when that fantasy is not real.
Basically, yes.
But the only thing that was like a big woo is the fact that it's Wilson Fisk's back. And it's the same one from Netflix. So I guess that's the other thing. If you haven't watched Spider-Man, you won't know that Charlie Cox is back. So that would have also been like, oh my god, that's that Fisk.
If you're like me and you haven't watched the Netflix one,
you're like, who the fuck's this guy?
Yeah.
Wait, this guy's not Kingpin. He's not a giant with a little head.
No, he's not from Spider-Verse.
Or that one random Daredevil one.
Which one?
From the film.
Oh, and he's played by... that guy who died in real life, wasn't it?
Yeah.
I can't remember his name off the top of my head. But yeah, I know you're on about the one, obviously, the Ben Affleck Daredevil.
Yes.
The actor who obviously passed away. I think like 10 years ago, something like that. But yeah, obviously, that was the big thing of this, is obviously, it's street level. You need something at street level to bounce around with, and obviously that's why they go with the tracksuit mob with the bros. Bro.
Your bro.
Just a bro.
Just a bro. Obviously, Yelena, obviously, again, a bit more of a street level sort of assassin.
Also, I like that they brought Yelena in, because obviously Yelena and Kate had that sort of like friendship, like vibe, which is obviously the new Hawkeye, new Black Widow. Obviously, original Hawkeye and Black Widow were best friends.
That, and obviously, it's a good way of wrapping up.
Yes.
The Hawkeye and Widow story of obviously how she died. And the fact that obviously at the end of Black Widow movie, you had the end credit scene of Yelena being spoken to, obviously by Madame Hydra.
Yes.
And obviously, she was like, "Oh, this is the guy that killed your sister." Shows her the Hawkeye picture, and that sets up her to be a part of Hawkeye. And obviously, then this show allows them to wrap that story up by going, "Okay, I didn't kill your sister. Yes. She sacrificed herself. She was better than me, and I couldn't do anything to stop her." So it was a good way of allowing them to put a closure to this story.
Yes, because obviously he's still grieving throughout this entire
this
series.
Is well, that's the thing. The 2021, you remember the 2021 Marvel TV slate was the grieving.
Yes, it was
the bunch, because everyone was sad
massively
and grieving
Wanda.
something. Yep. Obviously, so the Wanda and Visions, obviously because Wanda lost Vision. Obviously, Falcon Soldier, they lost Cap. Loki, he lost his mom.
Yeah.
Well, he's basically reliving everything and seeing the fact how much he's lost.
Yes.
And then you've obviously got Hawkeye, which is the grieving of Nat. For the fact that obviously, Endgame, this was our last act.
Yeah.
Oh, that's what you're wearing. I thought you was wearing a David Bowie t-shirt, to be honest.
Bowie.
The only David Bowie t-shirt I've got is Labyrinth. And that does not fit this at all.
No.
But Black Widow does. Because of Yelena.
Yep.
But yeah, obviously, this isn't no different with the Grieving Bunch. So, it fits into the 2021 slate perfectly.
Yeah.
It's a good way to end. Because they've been hard hitting up to this point. And it's nice to end on a fun vibe. Rather than...
And also very impactful.
Yeah, it's right. Because obviously all the ones have kind of been depressing.
Definitely.
Obviously Falcon and Soldier probably the least depressing ending, for the fact that, new Cap. It's the least depressing anyways. WandaVision depressing because she lost her kids. Obviously Loki's depressing because, well, the world's changed now. Everything's is in a new world. And he's like, oh my god, basically we essentially lost here. Whereas this is like not that. It's actually trying to need to be this fun ending for the fact it's a Christmas show.
Yeah, and it's like you got a new family as well for Kate.
Exactly, because obviously she's with the Bartons.
Yeah.
Which is nice. Because obviously that's a nice way to end the show.
Yeah, because I don't.
It wraps up the Hawkeye.
As cool as Jack is, I don't think he'll be great.
Oh, Jack's like the best character.
I don't think he'd be a great.
Hello,
dad.
sweetie. Hacha.
Oh, it's funny.
Jack's the best side character of the show.
Oh, if they were pick anyone to be a red herring, perfect.
Yeah.
The LARPers are good, yes.
Yeah.
Oh, I love the LARPers.
Especially during the final act when they come all out. You just listen to the Avengers theme at the top, dun, 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 as they come standing out. They're battering everyone. The big guy's the best when he just belly flops like one opponent running at him.
Oh.
God, play him.
Fucking LARPers. I mean, it is like a one that it's very consistent as it goes along. But I think once it hits episode 4 is when it gets to its peak. I think the first 3 are good builder episodes. Obviously, you disagreed with the first one because, I mean, if you've seen the Hayden Show episode, you literally gave it your full marks.
I loved the first episode because...
Obviously, the 3 are very builder episodes to build you up to a point, whereas 4 is where it brings in, obviously, them actually coming together a bit more. Obviously, it also introduces Yelena, Fisk, and obviously reveals a lot about, obviously, Maya's character, about, obviously, her best friend's involvement in her dad's death, and obviously coming to terms with everything. So obviously it's that point where it gets to like, oh yeah, it's the show I'm waiting for. It's good. I say every episode's pretty good. It's really good. Obviously it's just the last 3, just like most of the Marvel shows, it's the last 3 where it's the best.
Yeah.
My only complaint, I think you can agree with me on this one, is the City Putty Arrow in episode 2. And obviously they're doing the massive car chase scene, and obviously Kate fires an arrow, and it's City Putty, but the CGI in the City Putty just looks so awful.
Yeah.
It just looks like Oh no.
It's the only time the CGI was.
Yeah, the rest of the CGI in the show is pretty spot on.
Yeah.
I mean,
Definitely.
obviously heavily utilised it more within the finale.
Definitely.
But the rest of the show doesn't heavily rely on CGI, which is nice because it doesn't really need to. It's street level. It's like Daredevil. It's street level.
The very same scene where they make the arrow massive. That looks better.
Yeah, the massive arrow looks a lot better than the. I think it's just the texture, the movements.
Yes.
And you knocked my fucking mic off, woman. Yes, you did. You knee knocked that. I watched you. But yeah,
I thought it was Tom.
No, her knee, not the bottom of it.
It was Tom.
My knee's over here. Here. Her knee's over there where the fucking mic was.
Yeah, I thought you knocked it off with your hands.
No, she did.
Okay, okay.
Lies.
But yeah, obviously the big arrow looks a lot better than the silly point. As I say, it's the move. It's a moving CGI. It's it's.
I also really enjoy the miniature arrow as well, where they turn into a mini bros.
What we're gonna do now? I don't know. I'm gonna have to ask Scott about that. Woot woot. Well, that's that sorted. I said to Hayden, I would love if there was an end credit scene of they're trucking like an owl's nest, and it just grows big and it's just stuck in a tree.
Yeah,
that would have been funny. Like, what are we gonna do now, bro? I don't know, bro. We're screwed. Or even like you think it's big, like it shows them, and you think it's big, and in reality it zooms out and it's still tiny. It's just a big owl above them.
Like next to some eggs and start hatching.
Oh no, bro!
Start pecking at the thing.
that would have been quite funny. The little guns.
Yeah.
Beep, 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 beep. Oh, but instead we got a much more funner end credit scene.
Yeah.
Because this show doesn't really need.
I can do this all day.
This show doesn't really need an end credit scene to set up anything really. Obviously, yes, it could obviously set up anything more with Kate or the Thunderbolts, yes. But obviously, it doesn't really need to. So it does the good thing of ending on just like a fun vibe, which obviously is a callback to episode 1 with the Rogers musical. So I do like the full version, which is really fun. Because it's definitely like a toe tapper. Like, yeah, this is good. This is definitely something. Obviously, you kind of got interrupted within the first time you saw that by obviously Clint, turn off his hearing aid.
I don't blame him.
Which is another thing I want to get to in a minute. So obviously, it's nice that they actually gave you the full cinematic experience of the Rogers musical, the very inaccurate Rogers musical.
Yeah.
Scott was totally there.
Yeah, Scott was totally there in that weird, cheap-looking outfit that didn't have a helmet on at all, just some sunglasses.
Yeah, he was just small.
Tony's just wearing a jacket with a t-shirt. It's got the art wrapped around it.
Hulk's in a hoodie.
Yeah.
Oh.
Smash!
I think that's the closest to that outfit.
That's the closest. But remember that Avengers Academy game? That little mobile game?
Yeah.
It's basically what Tony looked like.
Yes. Yeah. So...
He's just got a fucking jacket and
was that one he was voiced by friggin' Dave Franco? The good Franco, bro.
Oh, the good one, probably.
I'm pretty certain because I remember John Cena voicing like one of the characters as well.
Really?
He was Hulk, if I remember correctly.
Oh my god.
That game, I remember that game. They just scrapped it after a while.
Did they?
It's a fun little game. It's a fun little, classic mobile building game.
Tick, tick, tick. Fucking tapping on stuff.
But yeah, obviously going back to what I mentioned with the hearing aid, obviously this is another one that's dealing with the first time the fact that Hawkeye is partially deaf.
Yes.
So obviously you see like a flashback to all the explosions that have caused the partial deafness.
It's not just explosions; it's also breaking through windows as well.
Everything's just slowly fucking his ear up to the point that he's now obviously struggling with his hearing, which is obviously a big theme with this. With the fact that obviously you got the introduction of Echo, the deaf character, who's obviously getting her own series next year.
Yep.
And obviously her literal character is straight up deaf. Obviously she's also a amputee is the word I'm after, because obviously obviously she's got a sort of metallic leg.
Yes.
So that's a
prosthetic leg.
Prosthetic leg. Yeah, that's the word I'm after here. So obviously that's a new thing that Marvel have looked at here. Because they've never really dealt with anything of that scale before.
They're showing more diversity.
Exactly. I think didn't we have that discussion before, me and you? I swear we've had that discussion at some point before with something.
Probably.
I've definitely had a discussion where we spoke about Oh, it wasn't with Marvel. It was with Dragon Prince.
Yeah.
With the fact that we did reference this show, but also doing the same thing with a deaf character. That was it. I remember now. I'll get there eventually. But yeah, so it's nice that they are showing this bit more diversity with the fact that there are people out there that are deaf. There are people out there that obviously has prosthetic legs. And even they can do what normal people can do. Obviously, she's pretty much a badass in this show. I mean, the first shot you get of her with the red room, the very Daredevil red lights, with the obviously the music beating, but obviously she can't hear it, but she can feel the vibrations, and it's like, oh, this is a really cool introduction. And in the following episode, you get this really action-packed sequence of obviously her fighting, obviously Clint, and then you get her fighting with Kate later on. You also get her with a little fight with Yelena when obviously she gets involved, and it's pretty much shows obviously her as like this really skilled fighter, even with these what's the word I'm after here?
Disabilities?
Yeah. There's another word I was after, but
I don't know.
I can't think of the word I was after. But yeah, with these obviously disabilities that would obviously think would hinder, yes, these this ability to fight, which you obviously see with that one kid when he's the flashback to her, and obviously that big chunky kid, and he's just like, okay, because even he's just like, well, I can clearly see obviously she's using that, she's an amputee, obviously she's got a prosthetic leg, and clearly see people obviously signing to her, and it's just like, okay, this is kind of not fair even to her.
To his face, it's unfair.
But in reality, she just kicks the shit out of him. One hit, one dunk. Down he goes.
Yep.
But yeah, obviously, it's pretty cool. Obviously, we get a lot of flashbacks for her in this. Obviously, I'm guessing we're going to get pretty more within her show to build up her character a lot more, because they're going to build her up as a more heroic character, not fully hero, but like kind of like also, Daredevil type character.
Also, we're going to find out what happens with Kingpin at the end.
Yes,
because that was an off-screen kill.
Yeah, because she shot. Kill. No, it's not a kill.
No, I know.
It's a shot from the comics.
Yeah.
In the comics, she shoots him in the eye.
You wearing the exact same outfit as well.
Yes.
Yeah.
The classic Kingpin Hawaiian outfit. But yeah, obviously she in the comics, if I remember correctly, she shoots him in the eye.
Yes, but he survives.
And he survives it, and obviously he comes back, and that is obviously going to be a big part of not just Echo.
Yeah.
But also Daredevil Born Again.
Yeah.
And maybe even Spider-Man.
Possibly.
Like, I mean, he's a Spider-Man villain. So technically speaking, he could be a big part within that. Like, he could send someone after Peter. And that could lead to Peter and Daredevil teaming up on the big screen.
They're definitely setting up that.
That would be, like, really cool. There's a lot they can do with the introduction of these Netflix characters that have been built already. So you don't have to do much character building. Because you can literally just go look at that show and go, okay, this is the character here. I understand his background. I understand everything about him. Now we've got him in this bigger universe, which I like. Obviously, we got Daredevil. I mean, we got Daredevil within. Well, we got Matt. within Spider-Man.
Yes.
And now we've got
Daredevil.
Wilson Fisk, Kingpin within. Obviously, Hawkeye. And then we got Daredevil / Matt within She-Hulk.
He's banging She-Hulk.
Yeah, where he's banging She-Hulk and doing the walk of shame. But yeah, so it's cool that we're now getting these characters slowly being used within this, because obviously those are the big Netflix characters. Really, was obviously Daredevil, Kingpin, and Punisher, and Jessica. Those four were the biggest, most popular ones. Obviously, Luke was pretty popular. Obviously, Danny not anywhere near.
I think Danny and Luke would work better as a duo, and then separately.
Yeah,
so they're always a duo in the comics.
The heroes for hire
work better for them.
You know, I was kind of disappointed that there was no Jessica Jones in She-Hulk. But what are you going to do?
Probably saving her for elsewhere.
Some more fitting.
Cheers. And who knows? We might get David Tennant again.
His corpse.
Well, it could be not dead.
Well, yeah, they could retcon that whole thing. But...
Because didn't they really do that in... Didn't they say that was basically like somewhat a different universe, but also not?
Kind of. I mean, they technically retcon the whole Mockingbird situation within this of the Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. Because obviously in this, it's revealed obviously Hawkeye's wife is actually Mockingbird Agent 19, not 13.
I read it wrong, okay?
Yes, you read a 9 as a 3, well done.
How do you do that?
because she's an idiot.
It was far away, so it was quite blurry.
So yeah, obviously they retconned obviously the Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. Mockingbird character by having it be Hawkeye's wife in this, and a different actress. Not obviously the woman. I can't remember how to pronounce her name in the actress who played her in obviously Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. Whereas obviously no, it's just Velma from Scooby Doo. It's nice that they've actually utilised that character in some way, not just had it as
because it was kind of obvious she was used to be an agent.
Yeah,
they're very obvious.
It is quite surprising that it's Mockingbird.
Yeah,
so they could have just had it a generic agent or something, but it's quite interesting that it's like, oh, because obviously technically speaking, Mockingbird and Hawkeye within the comics have a big relationship.
Yes, they do.
Because I remember having one of the a hardback book, obviously with loads of comic in. And one of them was that one, and I remember one shot is them in like a hot tub, like in a love heart, like romantic motel, sleazy hotel sort of one.
But that one episode of Earth Mightiest Heroes, where they definitely had something.
Exactly.
And Tom's and that book is now stuck on that page.
Oh, absolutely.
Because you can't open it now because it's there stuck together.
You have to get a fucking saw in there to fucking saw it open.
Yeah, disgusting.
You're the one who made the joke.
Oh, fucking sake. But yeah, it's definitely something that you can watch over a weekend or watch over Christmas.
Oh, definitely.
It's a lot of fun. They say it's impactful.
Even watching it again, like it wasn't boring. It was actually it's really enjoyable, no matter how many times you watch it.
I say because I know you watched it in pretty much like. Did you watch it like one sitting or over 2 days?
Technically 2 days, but like, it could have been one sitting. So I watched the first episode, and then I ended up playing Overwatch, and then the next day I watched it all.
I say because we watched it over 3 days, watched it over the weekend. Yes. So we watched one episode Saturday, was it?
I think so.
Then we watched We watched most of the episodes yesterday, and we watched the finale this morning. Obviously, we didn't have to watch episode 1 because we watched that recently, so we just skipped that. It was like.
That's why it took so long to get on the Discord call this morning.
No, it was just her getting dressed.
Typical.
But yeah, obviously we didn't have to watch episode 1 because we watched that like 3 weeks ago. So we was like, fuck it, we know what happens in episode 1. It's their meeting. We don't need to watch it, so it's fine. But yeah, obviously you can literally one sitting or as we did over a weekend, and it will keep drawing you back in like to one of this next episode because it's always ending on a high note of like. Oh shit! I need to see this. The episode 1 ends obviously, Hawkeye revealing obviously Bishop's face underneath the road and everything, and being like, "Oh come on!"
Kate Bishop.
Obviously one of the episodes ends with obviously the Yelena reveal.
Yes.
You also got the Kingpin reveal at the end of episode, penultimate episode before the finale. You got obviously these little reveals that make you go, you know what? I need to see where this next episode is. I need to watch this next one. And that's what I did like about the 2021 slate of Marvel. They kept drawing you back in. They were very consistent in their episodes.
And the next episode always carries on from there. Like, off of the Yelena one, the next episode, we actually see what happens.
Yeah, we get to see Yelena before the blip.
Her experience.
I know you love that shot of
I do.
Her basically going to the bathroom, washing her hand, being blipped out of existence, but then blipping really quickly back into existence. The background all changing because it's been like how many years. Like,
and for the people that were blipped, they didn't realise anything actually happened.
That is the cool thing I liked with the 2021 slate of Marvel as well, because WandaVision did it as well with Monica. They showed you someone who blipped and their reaction to the blip of coming back into existence, because all we'd ever seen from obviously Endgame was just the heroes coming back and being like, Avengers Assemble. So we never actually saw a genuine reaction to someone for the blip.
Yeah, obviously, the ones who had no idea what was going on.
Yeah, obviously, the second Spider-Man movie kind of showed obviously some people's reactions, but not fully. But this these
more for laughs, really.
Yeah, these two are the first times you actually get to see something. Obviously, with the WandaVision one, it was Monica obviously being with her mom as she was dying, being blips and coming back and being like, "Where's my mom gone?" She's gone. And then obviously this is the case of we're literally seeing someone blip back, like literally back and forth. It's like they go, but you see the fucking the particles of her still in the air as she quickly blips back. So they could literally just blipped her out and then been like a few seconds and then had her come back. But they didn't. It was like really quickly done, which is really cool. And they said the room changing like adds to the effect of her then going out, finding obviously a friend and be like, "What the hell's going on here?" And then basically having to now adjust to this new world. And in this case, obviously being corrupted by Madame Hydra, who's basically being like, "Oh, Hawkeye's killed your sister. Go kill Hawkeye because we need him dead for some reason."
That's the thing as well. She went to that bathroom with her sister. Her sister's still alive. And back, she's dead.
Yeah.
That was a pretty cool opening of an episode. That's probably one of the best openings in my opinion of this series.
Definitely.
It's just like whoa. But yeah, it's definitely a great character-driven show.
Definitely.
It's very
It
comedic.
builds up so many characters as well.
It's very funny. It's very action-packed. There's a lot of good banter between people. Specifically, obviously, you say Yelena and Kate, but also Clint and Kate. They have a lot of really good back and forth moments, and it's just perfect. I mean, I wish I brought it up now. It's in the cupboard downstairs. I actually recently brought a Disney Store Hawkeye mug. That's meant to be his obviously his quiver on his back, and it comes with a little spoon. The spoon shot like an arrow.
Yeah.
So that's I should brought that up.
One important character, Tom.
What?
Lucky.
Oh yes, I better not say that name out loud because my dog will bark. Pizza Dog. Yes.
At the start, she calls it Pizza Dog.
Well, his name is El the Pizza Dog.
Yes.
Well, again, I'm not saying the name out loud because my dog will start barking. And no, I did not name my dog after this show. This is before I knew this dog existed.
The show named it after the dog.
Yes, the show named it after my dog. But yeah, I mean, I remember when we watched the Hawkeye pilot for your show, and you were like, "If anything happens to this dog, I'm going to kill everyone." And I agree because the dog's just like so beautiful. Again, it's another case of diversity for the fact that it's got one eye. The dog literally has one eye, and it likes to eat pizza. We're gonna get the pizza lovers in there. It's not just Ninja Turtles that eat pizza. Dogs too. I remember when we was watching. There's that one bit obviously when Hawkeye and obviously Bishop are captured, and then we made the joke of like, we captured 2 of them. But what about the third one? Obviously, we were making the joke that he was going to jump down from the raft and start using the bow to take all the fucking bros out. Yeah, hopefully we get more of the dog in the future. Because I mean, she is like a pivotal part of Kate. Yes. I mean, the comic I read, which obviously focused on her, he's in the comic heavily. So hopefully we get more of.
I mean, he's introduced the dog to the family. Those kids are going to be like, "That's our dog now. If you touch it, we'll kill it. We'll kill you.
We'll kill it.
We'll kill you all, mate." I mean, that's how you
all. Kill it, and then everyone else.
This is the deleted scene. The kids just choking at the dog.
Nate, what are you doing? I'm copying Auntie Nat. He's got his legs wrapped around it.
Don't make this kid a killer, man.
I do like the fact, obviously, they brought the entire family back. Like, that was not because they could have literally just worked around not having them in it. But I like the fact they brought them back because it adds more emotion to him wanting to get back home. And there's a lot of comedy with him. I mean, that one scene when he's like, "You're in charge." The big, obviously, the older son, and that's the daughter's like, "Hey, why is he in charge? He's an idiot." Yeah, but I have seniority. So it is nice that they brought the entire family back. So it is a very family show. Which obviously capitalizes on that idea from WandaVision, but with a less depressing angle of they're not real.
Yeah.
Because they are real on this.
They've been established literally since Age of Ultron.
Yes, when obviously one was technically still in the womb.
Yeah, that's correct.
Nathaniel.
Yeah, it's gonna be little Natalie. Nathaniel. Raider. On that little picture, you look at the picture, still ugly. Exactly.
Yes. But yeah, it's definitely one of the top tier Marvel ones. I mean, that's why if you're my ranking of TV shows, the top 10 from last year, obviously there was very heavy Marvel in that. Specifically 2 shows more than any, if I remember correctly, which is obviously Loki and this one. And I did put this over Loki because of my love for Hawkeye. Biasness, obviously, but it was very fun. So yeah, it's definitely something that could be checked out over Christmas.
Also, Kate Bishop.
Also, yes, Kate Bishop.
Cool.
It's just there's a lot to love about this show.
Definitely.
And there's
the side
apart from that one
main
CGI moment, there's not really anything to hate about the show.
You can overlook that though, can't you? Really?
I mean, we overlook the "you guys are screwed now" scene from Infinity War.
We do,
and that doesn't diminish
we
the
take
rest
the
of
piss
it.
out of it, but
I mean, I feel like just because the movement, this makes me just go.
Yes.
Oh, it just kind of throw it back a little bit from some. When I do rate it, I'm not going to give it a 10.
It's one of those ones that
personally.
it's like, oh, but as soon as it's gone, you forgot about it.
Yeah, but it's still just going to put it back a little bit for me, make me go. You guys are screwed now, but that was funny. That was funny bad.
Yeah.
That was hilarious bad because of the dialogue, whereas that is just visually bad.
Yeah.
And there's not really anything funny around that moment. So,
although you could say it's...
I mean, you said yourself they could have done it practically.
They could have done practically, yeah.
But yeah. Anything else anyone wants to input here?
I think I've said all my bit. Kate Bishop.
Same.
That's the main
So
point.
we'll get to the ratings then.
Yeah.
Sure.
Okay. So as I said, love the show. Obviously, that one bit of CGI. It is a bit of a hindrance just because visually for me. I mean, when I first watched it, I mean, you guys are screwed now. It's not something I noticed until you really pointed it out to me. It's something I could look past. Whereas this, it's kind of plugged in your face.
To be fair though, it's the opposite for me. Because I didn't notice the goo until you told me.
Oh.
Anyway, the first time I saw it, I didn't notice it was bad.
I mean, for me,
until
it pokes out the screen instantly, and I was like,
So I didn't notice it was bad, and I'm gonna rewatch that scene.
You rewatch it, and you'll go.
I think it's because I was focused on like
the action,
the overall.
Yeah.
Not just...
Yeah.
So that does drag it back, not heavily, just a little tiny bit, like a 0.1 back. So if you can guess, I'm going to give this 9.9 out of 10. That's it. That's how much I love this show. It doesn't get the 10. It's very close. That CGI wasn't there. I probably would give it a 10.
See, for me, like, yes, the CGI was a bit of annoying, but like I said, afterwards, you forget about it. It's one of those ones
I'm
where
still picturing it, though.
You can forgive it. Also, Kate Bishop.
You just love that character, that's why.
I do. This is cool. It's Haley Steinfeld. Who doesn't love Haley Steinfeld? So I'd give it a 10 out of 10 because it's Haley Steinfeld.
See, I'm the biased one here, and I've actually not given it a full 10.
I'm also biased. For different reasons.
See, I'm going to give it a 10 out of 10 as well because I love Hawkeye. I love the show. And unlike Tom, I can look past the graphical errors.
It just makes me want to throw up.
It's not, to me, it's not a bad. It's more of like when you first seen it, as soon as it goes off.
You get it twice.
You
get it twice in the show. She used it in when she breaks into fucking Echo's room. When she shoots it at the fucking that weird beepy thing that lets Echo
silent alarm.
Yeah, the silent alarm.
Wasn't that bad.
You see it. It's in the dark, but you can see it moving, and it's just like, no, I can still see it again. Get me out of it.
Again, I wasn't looking at it, so.
I think someone's just over dramatic.
Story of his life.
Little drama queen.
Yeah, it's true.
I'm pretty certain I don't even have to Google what this is. I'm pretty certain it'd be like a 9.96, more than likely, something stupid like that. But technically speaking, that would then give Hawkeye the Chat Cave over rating of 10 out of 10. I'm pretty certain that would be that. Would I be right?
Yeah.
Because I mean, there's 2 10s versus one with 9.9. See, I'm biased, but I have an extent to my biasness. If I see something I don't like, it will hinder it for me.
Yeah.
Yeah. Whereas I can be blinded by one thing. So.
Yeah, you can. Yes, you can. Okay. Is there any point in MVP? Because I don't know what you're gonna fucking say for MVP.
Kate Bishop.
Haley Steinfeld as Kate Bishop.
Yes.
Because she's perfect casted.
Yes.
Another fine example of Marvel's perfect casting.
Yeah, they're very good at doing it.
Yeah. Okay, then runner up.
I mean, we give it to Hawkeye.
Or Elena.
Hawkeye.
It's either Clint or Yelena. I feel like Yelena does the more funness when she comes in, but Hawkeye brings the more emotional angle to the show.
And it's also his show. He's finally got his own.
And he gets the moment of doing the widow whistle.
Yes.
Yeah.
So we're gonna give it to Clint.
Yeah.
Okay, we'll go to Clint Barton then.
Or do you want to give it to Jack?
Jack's my mental runner-up. The Swords Master. Okay, then favourite moments. For me, there's a lot of moments that do jump out the screen at me. All for good reasons, apart from the goo. You're not gonna live that goo down, Hawkeye. You're not gonna live that goo down. The Jack moment when he comes out and says sword fighting is hilarious. The Kingpin reveal is really well done. You stop dying next to me.
I can't help it.
Drink your drink.
Just die already if you're gonna die.
Yes.
Who drinks like that? Who drinks a can like that, honestly? 2 hands for a can.
I was hiding the product so you can't get copyrighted or some shit, I don't know.
Doesn't work like that.
No, because I'm like, you're not... It doesn't look like we're being... Like,
we're not... If you're not calling it out...
I haven't got a brand deal. Okay?
Yeah, you're not calling it out, though. You're the one calling it out. You're the one calling it out now.
You're the one's taking the piss out of me.
It's him!
Yeah, but you.
Thanks a lot. You got me in the fucking doghouse now. Okay. Yeah, but I'm just gonna fucking go straight to my favourite. It's the ice rink fight scene because it utilises all the non-bad CGI arrows in a really fun action-packed scene, which builds up to that money shot of them side by side firing an arrow.
Yeah.
That and you had the car scene, as we said.
Specifically for me, it would be the whistle. That's the moment. Like. Yelena starts, like,
seeing things clearer.
Yeah, and how emotional she gets and how emotional he gets. That little talk they have about that. That's, for me, is the moment when, like, they're both on the path to recovery. I've gone specific, you've gone for just action.
Is this the whole shot?
Yeah.
My favourite scene is from the elevator scene all the way up to where they compliment each other about the fighting.
Oh, come on!
You've got the mixture of comedy,
the
banter, and action. And you get to see Kate actually fight someone who is way out of her league.
Yes.
Fight-wise. And then you also got the comedy part at the very end of it, where they just compliment each other on how they fought.
That whole floor like that.
Again, it's very similar to the whole dynamic Nat and Clint have whenever they fight in Civil War. When they're fighting, they're also just like, you pull your punches. No.
It's like Budapest all over again. You and I remember Budapest completely differently.
But whenever they fight, they're always sort of bantering at the same time.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. So my question here, obviously, we've had 2. Well, we've had 3 technically as well, but no, it was kind of like a spooky Halloween special. Would you like to see more holiday type specials within the Marvel universe? Because we've had this one, which is a very Christmassy show. We've had Guardians of the Galaxy holiday special, and Werewolf by Night was released before Halloween, so it's kind of a spooky seasonal special. So would you like to see more like this going forward? That one? Werewolf by Night.
What's that?
The black and white one with the werewolf. That's on Disney Plus.
Obviously, I've missed one.
It came out in October.
Oh, whoops!
Like one of the best ones.
It is literally probably the best Marvel film of the year. He's adding that to his list now to watch it later on.
It's more of a short film than a big film.
But it's still it's a TV movie.
Yeah.
Yeah,
it's like the best TV movie of all time.
Definitely.
I'm sorry.
You better be fucking sorry.
But
my time to get a buddy there.
So yeah,
buddy's Hayden.
So yeah, you like some more seasonal specials.
Definitely.
I'd like a spin-off of Jack. Just an entire spin-off of him.
The Jack Sword Master.
Or just a spin-off of the LARPers.
I said I like to think that he joined the LARPers afterwards because that one little conversation where he's like, "Oh, I got blood all over me." Okay. If that is everything then, obviously you can check out the pilot review. Obviously I did for you because you were ill at the time, and I had to read off your notes. I'll put the link for that in the description below. Obviously you can check out the rest of the podcast on obviously Spotify, iTunes and all that. I'm going to try and get out the other Marvel ones the Chat K podcast when we used to do the Chat K podcast. I'm going to try and get them out as well around this time. So yeah, obviously you can check Mr. Geeky Bear on his channel / Twitch. More Twitch than his channel.
Yeah.
And you're always with me, so you can't really check you out anywhere else. I mean, you got your own channel, but I'm pretty much running that at the moment. One video fucking every 2 weeks.
Oh, what, the Fatal Error one?
Yes. But yeah, obviously, we hope you enjoyed.
Yeah.
We hope to see you next time.
Yeah.
Bye.
See ya.